Hello, today I will be doing a tutorial on how to do a FieldShield file masking job. First things first is we're going to have to create a new IRI project, and you can either do that through File, New, IRI Project, or you can just click this button here. We're going to go ahead and give this a name, and we're going to choose to populate the library with data classes. We're going to click Finish, and our project is created. Now we're going to go ahead and create a new folder inside of this, and I'm just going to call this one mapping, and this will be used later. So now we have to move our files into our Project Explorer. So to do that, we're going to go here into the remote systems and navigate to where our files are. And there's one of two ways you can do this. You can either just control click all of them, drag and drop, or you can right click on the directory. You can go to import to project, into folder, browse, and we're going to select the project we made and select OK. From here you can click finish, and as you can see, our files are now populated inside of our tester project. Now we have to create the DC map. So we're going to go up here to the discovery menu. I'm going to drop that down, directory data class search, and here for the destination folder tester mapping is where we want it to go, which is perfectly fine. A subfolder name, data class search, and we're going to choose to not do a graphical report, but you can if you'd like. We're going to click next. And here for the folder selection, we're going to go ahead and select where our files are. So we're going to go to where this is located at. And if you're unsure, it actually tells you right up top here. So I'm going to navigate to that really fast. And I'm going to go ahead and select the folder in which they're located. Here I can click next, and I can choose to exclude some information during the scan. You just do that through add, you give it a name, you give it a regex pattern. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and include everything, and we're going to click next. And we're choosing to use the data classes that are pre-populated when we created the project. And here you can choose how it scans, and again you can select none or select all or individually select them. We're just going to leave everything as default, and we're going to click finish. As you can see over here, we have our data class map. But if you notice, we actually only have 2 of our files and not all 4. That's because the default data classes only caught information in 2 of these, just like that. So you can see how it's matching, but it didn't match on anything in the other 2. So let's go ahead and change that. So I actually have a file that I want to use that contains a list of names. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and drag it and drop it in here. I'm going to click OK. Like that. And you don't have to do this, but it just makes it a little bit easier to demonstrate. So from here, we have to go into our IRI library. And this is where all of our data classes and rules are set up. So the list that I actually put in here is going to be a full name. So I'm going to go into the full name data class. Into the data matchers, I'm going to set add. I'm going to give it a name like that. Type, I'm going to do a set file. And for the path, I'm going to go ahead and browse. And then since it's right on my desktop, I can click OK. And the reason that I moved it in here is if it's very hard to get to, you can just right click over here, copy the path, and then paste the path here, and it'll do the exact same thing. We're going to hit OK, and our full name is included with that file. Now we have to move back to our DC map. We're going to have to sync it up. We're going to click Finish. And from here, now we have to add these 2 that we're missing. So we're going to go ahead and right click, we're going to do copy path, and as you can see we have the a customer-csv and customers XLSX, so we need to add the CC and the Chiefs. So we'll go ahead and go to this icon, add file source, add a data source, type file, and here you can either browse, but since I copied the path, I can just paste it in there and the format automatically populates. We'll go ahead and click OK. And as you can see, it says it has no metadata, so we have to discover the metadata. We're going to go ahead and click Next. And we're going to go ahead and click Yes because it's going to auto detect. We're going to click Next again. And this is a brief overview of what it looks like, which it looks good. And we're going to click Finish. We're going to click Finish one more time. And perfect, just like that. You can see that it was added. And it's matching on the names because we included a file of names that we wanted to mask, which includes some of these names. Now we have to add the next one. So again, we're going to go ahead and copy the path. We're going to go back up to the add file source, add data source, type as file, and file. We're going to go ahead and paste. And again, it changes the format. We're going to click OK. Discover metadata. Next. We're going to click Yes. Going to click Next. And Finish. Finish one more time. And just like that, we now have that one with a matching name. From here, it is now time to do our FieldShield job. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the path of the mapping. Then we're going to go ahead and go to the FieldShield menu, and we're going to do a new data class map file masking job. From here, asking for the folder, which is perfect. Subfolder name, comments, output as different. And it's asking for the data class filter. So I want to use all of these, so we're just going to have them all there. You can select none, select all, individually select. We're going to go ahead and select next. Data sources, I want to use all 4. We're going to select next again. And enter the details for the target. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and just paste in the path that I copied and select finish. So as you can see here in our mapping folder, we have a new class protection folder. This is going to have some .scls and a .bat folder. So as you can see in the .scls, it has just a little bit of information. I won't overload you, but for now we have an in file, which was predefined, which we defined ourselves. Process is CSV. Out file, it's going to show you what it's doing, and it's going to have all these fields, which some have some encryption, the ones that it caught stuff on, and some has blurs. But this was all shown in the DC map. So there's a few ways you can go from this point. You can right click the .scls individually and do a run as IRI job, or you can right click the batch file and run as batch program. And as you can see, inside of the mapping folder, we have a customer.csv, which matches with this. So let's go ahead and open them up and check side by side. So as you can see, our original, we have some data that actually makes sense. And in our masked one, we have data that does not make sense. So going back to the DC map, you can actually see exactly what was happening here. And that was the a customer. So as you can see, it matched on the first name with the format preserving encryption, same with the last name, purchase date, credit card, and email. So with that being said, you have just completed a FieldShield file masking job.